Boom. Tell me I made it. Tell me I hit it right at, what is it, 7:45? It's actually 7:46. I think I missed it by, it might be 45 seconds, 50, maybe 60. The very most, 70%. Guys, please tell me in the comments below. Good morning, by the way. It's a beautiful Friday morning. We need that commission today. Some great important things need to happen today. We need that commission. Need that commission to survive, that is. Please jump on and tell me if this broadcast is clear. I know it's a little early for me to do a live, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to roll with the punches and you know, make things work the way they're supposed to work. And what that often means is that sometimes you jump on when it's not always, you know, it's not always kosher. This is me trying to fill up the time and trying to, you know, buy time with you guys. Lorraine Wangu, thank you. Looking fresh up in here. You think so? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm over here at Simoson building, plot number 8585 on Simon Mwewa Lane, the corner of Lucia and Simon. Whenever you hear me say the corner of Lucia and Simon, Lucia stands for Kalusha Wadia, and Simon stands for Simon Mwewa Lane. So when you say, I'm on the corner of Lucia and Simon, it means you're on the corner of Kalusha Wadia and Simon Mwewa Lane. So let's talk about it, guys. Please jump on. My very first request, if you don't mind, and it would help me a great deal if you did this, and that is, could you please share this live? This is, they teach you this in vlogging school, whatever that is that when you jump on live, one of the first things you should do, or they advise you to do, is to ask your audience to indulge you and share your live. As conceited as that may sound, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, I'd be grateful. Before I talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you about, and that is the UPND thugs, namely Clifford and a guy named Zambezi. These are people that work, that operate inside City Market, and they do this under the guise of security. They say that they provide security for the marketeers, but they really don't. They're just a bunch of hooligans that steal from the marketeers, and they pretend to provide security, but really they are extortionists. They make marketeers pay for a service that they don't provide. Boom, man, that's good. And that's the truth. Clifford and Zambezi, UPND thugs who operate within City Market, charge the marketeers under the guise of security. They charge the marketeers for a service that these thugs do not provide. They are extortionists. And we're going to talk about that. But before I do, I'd like to very quickly just briefly mention the power play, because that's what it was. Yo Maps' power play. You guys, you know the story. You know, Yo Maps was doing a live video, and in the process of doing the live video, he passed a comment that the people that accused him of not having genuine love for Dandy Crazy and his family, the same people that were accusing him of that were the same people that were sitting there eating the food that he provided at the funeral. He provided more than 100 bags of mealie meal and 120 chickens, which is no small feat. I will tell you that. In this economy, to buy 100 bags of mealie meal and 120 chickens, that is no small feat. But he did it because he was benevolent. He felt that that was his contribution. And so his comment attracted a lot of negative attention from people that totally misunderstood him. Because as you know, being a public figure and addressing a huge crowd and a huge audience, you are prone to be misunderstood. And so social media totally misunderstood Yo Maps' statement. Yo Maps was simply saying, look, if you're going to criticize me, if you're going to falsely accuse me of not having genuine love for the funeral and the family that I'm supporting, why would you eat the food that I'm providing? You know, it's a bit duplicitous. It's hypocritical is what it was. So there was backlash from that. And then there's a few social media personalities that started championing this idea that no, well, Yo Maps bought more than 100 bags, my understanding. Please tell me in the comments if that's correct. He bought breakfast mealie meal, which is the more expensive type of mealie meal. They brought, and it was about 100 bags. They brought back rola meal, and they only bought back like 6 bags or 3 bags or something, and they only bought 2 chickens. So the truth is, they didn't whoever that was, you know, whoever spearheaded that flopped project of going to Yo Maps' house and dumping the few bags of rola meal, you didn't return what he bought. I mean, you didn't. You said you would, but you didn't. What took Yo Maps a couple of hours to decide, it took you jokers more than 2 months to gather 3 bags of rola meal and 2 chickens at your wish. And on top of that, you call your fellow thugs to say, no, to allow to dump ubunga and mwisa mufisampe. You jokers. So anyway, the power play that Yo Maps played was after that debacle, after the people went and delivered 3 bags of rola meal, what does Yo Maps do? Instead of jumping on social media and cussing and whooping and hollering and complaining, what does he do? He pours out more love, more benevolence. He brings more than 100 bags of mealie meal and says, hey, look, I know you're upset. I know you're angry. But you know what? I'm going to give you more mealie meal. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bless you because I'm blessed. I know you hate me, but I love you. Okay, I know you despise me, but it's all right. It's okay. I know you think that, you know, I'm uppity and all, but it's fine. I'm going to give you more mealie meal. Top that. And here's the thing. My wife was saying to me early this morning, she says, the only people that are going to criticize this Yo Maps move, the recent one, are haters. I mean, what's there to hate about someone saying, you came to my home, you dumped bags of rola meal. I'm a sakaya tatu aya rola meal. But I turn around and say, look, I'm going to give you more. If you criticize that move, then you're just a hater. And then there are going to be other people that are going to say, hey, okay, why did it bring some more chickens. Ubira Zambia, te wakwangalirako. Ubira Zambia, wachawe. All right. Okay, guys, you know I've been struggling with something that, and the only way that I vent is through this broadcast. And I know people are critical of that, but it's the only thing I have, really, you know. And you guys know that 3 days ago, I was sitting in my office and a young lady walked in who's a tenant here at Simoson. They don't like being called tenants. They prefer the phrase or the term business owners. We had a Simoson business owner. She walked into my office and she was very distraught. And I deal with a lot of things here at Simoson. You guys have no idea what I deal with here. To you, it may look hunky-dory and flashy and nice, and when I come on social media, you see me laughing, and honey, behind the curtains, I go through hell tours. Hell tours. And I don't like them. You know, I don't like what I go through here. And nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. They just think that I'm just this happy-go-lucky guy. The things that I deal with here at Simoson, unbelievable. I am surrounded by imbeciles. I really am. These people call themselves cadres. I've been dealing with them for years. I've been here 38 years. I've seen them come, I've seen them go. These guys are bad news, very bad people, cadres. Whichever political party they're from, they are bad news. I deal with them. So anyway, this young lady walks into my office and she's distraught. She's sort of crying and she says, please come downstairs. We've been ambushed by cadres and they've stolen our goods. They've ransacked our shops and they've even locked the shops. And for a moment I said, they did what? She said, they have locked the shops. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, they've put locks on our shops. Immediately, I got up and I went downstairs. By the time I got downstairs, the cadres had left, but the shops were locked. And now you have to remember, these are shops that belong to Simoson Building. Simoson Building is a privately owned business. We are the very first ones that opened business in this area. In 1986, 1987, there was hardly anything here. We opened the door, in case some of you don't know. And yes, you can talk about the building, you can say it's ugly, this, that, and the other, but the truth is, the two things. Number one, Simoson opened business, commercial business here in the CBD. We're the ones that did that. Number two, Simoson Building is debt-free. As ugly as this building is, zero debt, no Congolais on this building, okay? So I said that to say, you know, people do crazy things like that, and I couldn't believe it. So I go downstairs, they had left, so I asked the shop owners and the people around there, because, you know, here at Simoson, anything that happens attracts attention. It's always commotion. It's always drama. There's always something. The moment you raise your voice, there could be 30 people walking past. The moment you raise your voice, everybody stops and they start looking. Everybody is in everybody's business. That's the culture and the world we live in here. So anyway, I said, look, who did this? They said, they're cadres, they're Upnd cadres who operate from within City Market. Their names are Clifford and Zambezi. They are the ringleaders of a gang of thugs that operate within the market. They say they provide security for City Market, but the truth is they charge marketeers for services they do not provide. They don't. They say they provide security. They don't. They just extort money from the marketeers. So anyway, so in annoyance, I asked two security guards from Simoson and the head of security here at Simoson, Mr. Piri. I called them and I said, look, accompany me to the market. Let's go straight to this place where Clifford and Zambezi operate from. They have a little hub, a criminal hub, located right inside City Market. When you walk in, it's like you're walking into a cave. I walked into the lion's den. And when I walked in there, I asked the people, I said, who is Zambezi and who is Clifford? They pointed at these two guys. I said, you guys, I understand you locked my shops. I said, who gave you the right to do that? Where do you get the gall? Where do you get the courage? Where do you get the authority to lock the shops that belong to a private business, a business that you have no connection to? President. Your tenants insulted the president. I said, hey, you're lying. That's a PF tactic. The PF used to do that, you know, and all cadres do that. Understand this. When a cadre wants to divert attention from what he's done, this is very important. This is critical that you listen to this part. If you've heard nothing else, hear this. On the street, when a politically aligned cadre wants to divert attention from something that he's done, the quickest and the most efficient way of doing that is to simply say, I took our president. And then all his friends will, I took our president to you. And then where there were 20 people, there are now 100 people. Come in. Where there are 20 people, there are now 100 people screaming, oh, right here, Mama. Just here. Thank you. Thank you. Where there are 20 people, all of a sudden, because one cadre has shouted, "Took president to you." Fiaisa kwatini shimu. Fila fuma kwatini mpashi. To do what? To camouflage and to divert attention from the crime that they've committed. Remember, they've ransacked the shop. They've robbed money from the shop. The same guys. They've locked shops that they have no authority whatsoever to do. They've harmed people for offenses that they've committed. But for them to divert attention from these 4 offenses, what do? Atuka president. Ubu fifia bweka lies. It's a tactic they use. They've been using that for years. When you say that on the street and there are 100 cadres, who's going to listen to you when you say, no, that's not true? 100 cadres will say, oh, when's Atuka president you? And they even start beating you. Before you know it, the crimes they've committed have now melted away. The story now becomes, no, Enzatuka president. It is a mechanism. It is a tactic. But we know those tactics. We know them. Those are foolish tactics. Those are PF tactics. Enzatuka president. Remember the video of the PF cadre that recorded a police officer saying, president, those are tactics to divert attention from your crime to now focus on another issue. So anyway, I said to these thugs, I said, you're lying. These tenants have got no reason whatsoever to start insulting the president. The issue is you were blocking the front entrance of their shop. You're causing customers, you're causing fear in customers. They won't enter their shops. They won't trade because you're blocking their entrance. And the shop owners were simply saying to you, move out of the way. And because they told you that, you became furious. And then now you went on this tangent of saying, no, I took our president. So as I was exchanging words with them inside the lion's den, it's a very dingy place. When you go in there, it's located deep within the market. When you go in there, it's like you're in a lion's den. You are surrounded by thugs. I'm a drug dealers. And I knew in that moment, I had a moment of awakening. I thought, oh Lord, I'm in the lion's den. If I'm not careful, these jokers are going to start pummeling me to death. Let me just turn around and go straight to the police. So I said to them, I said, I'm going to report you to the police. And then they started, because it's very indicative of cadres. That's how they are. They use the most unpalatable language. The back of your hair stands up when they start. So I start walking out of the lion's den. And they're following me. And they're cursing. They're threatening. By the time, now the distance from the lion's den to City Market Police is a little short distance. It's less than 3 minutes. It's a little 2-minute walk maybe. In 2 minutes, where there were 50 cadres, there were now 100. By the time I got to the police station, they had blocked the entrance of the police. After I entered the police station, they blocked the entrance. And they start singing, chanting party songs. Started saying, hey, forward, what did you talk about president? Something that is not true. I'm a tenant, so we talk about president. Not true. Lies. Twala kudiringa. Umamu police station tawa fume. Twala kudiringa. The officer in charge ushers me to his office. And then he asks me what happened. So I start explaining. And while I was explaining, I said to the officer, I said, look, the issue here is clear. You can't have cadres locking privately owned businesses. Today, they've locked 2 shops. If this thing is unattended, tomorrow they'll lock 20 shops. No, Mr. Mwewa, just give us your statement and we'll deal with it. I posted on my Facebook page, I said, City Market Police is surrounded by UPND cadres, and they are threatening to beat and burn us. And they're saying that Simoson telling me, don't come to town, don't come. The same language PF used to use, the same threats PF. I've lived through that for many years. And when I hear it, I recognize it instantly. Same language. The same language those PF guys used to use is the same language these UPND guys were using on me. When I posted that, Councillor Ngoma, and it's very important to note that these boys are under Councillor Ngoma. Councillor Ngoma phoned me very angry after I posted UPND thugs are surrounding police and all that. Instead of Councillor Ngoma listening to my side of the story, the very first thing Councillor Ngoma said to me is, Mr. Mwewa, we hear your tenants are insulting the president. I said, Ngoma teka nyeni. Kada mwewe your story na mumwayumfuida. Teka nyeni bango. Awe, Mwewa, your tenants can't insult the president. I said, Bwana teka nyeni. Your thugs were blocking the entrance of our tenants' shop. That was the issue. No one here insults the president. I am the leader here at Simoson. No one insults the president here. For what? Everybody knows the support that I give to the head of state. Why would they insult the president? The complaint was your thugs, your UPND thugs in Ngoma, were blocking the entrance of their shop. That's all. No, Mwewa. My tenants bako iwe. What took on our president? I said, Dingo. Sorry. I got a phone call. So I hung up on Mr. Ngoma because clearly he had listened to his boys who had spun a lie that the councillor immediately believed. Councillors, don't be quick to believe the stories that your thugs tell you. Get the facts on the ground. You are a representative of your ward. Your ward does not comprise cadres only. There are citizens. There are citizens in your ward that are not affiliated with you or to you. So don't just, when a cadre, your thug, phones you and says, because the thugs know that the moment you use that language, Atuka president, everything else falls away. Nobody pays attention to anything else. So you councillors, don't listen to these thugs that are your boys. So anyway, we did the reporting. The ladies came. They gave their statements. The docket was open. And then the police officer said to me, Mr. Mwewa, remove that post where you are saying that thugs are here. I said, why should I remove it? It's true. They are here. They're outside. I'm trying to exit the police to go back to my office. They're stopping me. You want me to pretend that it's not there? No, Mr. Mwewa, just to delete. I said, I'm not deleting it. I want people to understand the hell we go through here. How else are they going to know if I don't say it? Huh? Jesus said, how do you take a candle that's supposed to illuminate a room and put it under a bushel? Put it under your bed. Bring it out in the open where everybody can see it. I didn't make that up. You think I can lie that a police station is surrounded? That's criminal. That is being an alarmist. But because it happened, I posted it. Because it's true. There are witnesses who were there, who saw it. Surrounded, City Market police, surrounded by UPND cadres, chanting, "Iwe mwewa tizakupaya. Twala chocha chi Simoson." You want me to lie and say it didn't happen? It happened. So what are you going to do about that? What do you want me to do with that? Because that's what happened. So, after we opened the dockets, a City Market manager was called, was summoned. What do you call it? The officer in charge called Zambezi and Clifford into the room. The moment they walked into the room, my goodness, it was just a shouting match between me and them. The moment Clifford and Zambezi walked in, you see, this is let me teach you something. This is street etiquette. When you're sitting down and a thug approaches you, never sit down, always stand up. When you are sitting down, because the way Zambezi and Clifford walked into the officer in charge's room, I was sitting on one of the chairs. Clifford and Zambezi walked in. They were standing over me. I was sitting down. And they start now hurling insults and threats in the officer in charge's office. Here's a trick. When a thug approaches you and you are sitting down, never sit down and exchange words. Always stand up so that you are either eye level with him or slightly above him. It's a hack. If you allow him to talk to you while you're sitting down, he will dominate you. He will vanquish you. But when you stand up, you are telling him, I don't fear you. Who are you? You are a criminal. When you do that, they're awakened to the fact that you can't be intimidated. So when they walked in, they start hurling it. I immediately stood up. And I stood and I faced this Zambezi guy, looked at him straight in the eye and says, you are a criminal. Where do you have the guts to lock a privately owned business? You ransack it, you steal money, you break goods within that shop, and then you have the audacity to say, Watuka our president. You are a criminal. Oh my goodness, they were just cussing. So anyway, finally, the officer said, no, Mr. Mwewa, let us solve the problem. I said, the problem is they need to go to jail. That's what the problem is. No, first, let us get the keys so that we open the shops. I said, are you nuts? You think that's the remedy here? The remedy is that these jokers need to be behind bars. We go to Simoson. We come here to Simoson. These idiots, these thugs, they pull out the keys and they even start unlocking our shops. Okay, chitambala, twala fish le fima shop fiove, but ifima tenants fiove fiove. Anyway, yo chitambala to occupy number 3 days. To chita ban pano. We rise up pano pa Simoson. I said, you have got to be out of your mind. That's not going to happen. You think that's the first time I've heard such nonsense from thugs? Abanenuba PF, they used to do that. Abanenuba PF, they used to tell us, Osa choka mu office. Uzinkala mu office, per street, osabwera ba PF valifidwa iwo kwanishe in this dispensation, in this new dawn of Hagainde Hichilema, who tells you that you are on your own. Voila, it's not happening. So anyway, they opened the shops. I said to the officers, I said, this is highly irregular. It is strange for police officers to be standing here watching thugs open the shops that don't belong to them, and you're not arresting them. No, Mr. Mwewa, there's a procedure. You've opened, you've complained, we have recorded. So now we are just compiling, and we are going to investigate this matter. And we are going to see it to its logical conclusion. You, Mwewa, don't worry. 3 days. Clifford, Zambezi, as I'm sitting here now. But in the city market, they're in the lion's den, but it's sakano kuseka. Why aren't they being arrested? That's my question. Can anybody tell me that? No? Well, that's the world we live in. And these mwewas that are coming in the future, I wonder what they'll be like. Our children are not aggressive. They are not. They're just really good kids. To operate at Simoson, you have to be gangster. Pano, you have to be gangster. So whichever mwewas are going to come in the future, whether it's 50 years, 100 years from now, listen to me, you mwewas. By the time you're watching this, some of you 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th generation mwewas, but this video will still be here. Don't let them beat you down, these cadres. Stand up to them. Take it to them. Protect what's yours. Nobody else is going to do it. Only you. All right. Thanks for watching.